I was sexually abused from the age of 9 to 12. When I finally did bring it to light with my mom, because of where she was in her brokenness, she wasn't able to even get me the help I needed. I really then got a really distorted version of who I thought God was. I started to believe that if this was, happening, that God didn't love me, that He had forgotten about me, and I wasn't worthy of it. I mean, why, if my family didn't love me and want me or accept me, then obviously He wouldn't either. There was just a broken relationship between my mom and I, just because she had things that she still hadn't worked through. I was basically just looking for someone to just accept me and love me. And even with my father, he was in and out of my life, and he would just make a quick phone call to make a dinner plan. And I remember trying to impress him in that 20 minutes or whatever it would be of dinner, just to get him to love me. Maybe he would call back in a week instead of 6 months. I had a friend that I had met that really led me to Christ when I was 9. She invited me to a vacation Bible school. I went there and I heard about this Jesus, and I was so excited and so on fire for this love that we all crave. I think I was more drawn to God because I was looking for that love and that acceptance and that just wanting to have that relationship with someone. When I was about 9, that's when there was some sexual abuse that started to happen for about 3 years of my life, and at that time, that was when I had been saved, and I really then got a really distorted version of who I thought God was. From there, it was a downward spiral of, I got into different types of drugs, alcoholism. I then started to live a very promiscuous lifestyle, and honestly, my life, I looked forward to not being me. I want to go out and party and drink and not be who I am. To actually have fun and to let loose and be me, I had to have some type of substance to make me feel whole. As that lifestyle continued, I then met someone, and we had similar lifestyles at that time, and so then we decided that we would get married. And so the lifestyle continued until we had kids, and then things started to just shift. What started to bring me to Christ in a different way was a slow kind of turnaround, as my stepfather had died of a massive heart attack. And what was cool is I had been at a Women's of Faith conference right before that, and just had experienced God in a different way, just even at that conference. And then we had lost him. Then about 3 months later, that's when my husband decided he didn't want to be married anymore. I had been faced with actually the thing that I was most scared of my entire life, and that was to be a single parent, and there it was right in front of me. Went to go save my marriage with a counselor. That's where I started to see the areas of my life that I was literally living in a prison and had no idea. There were just all these underlying lies that I had been believing about myself, but then they were brought to the surface. And the biggest one was that I wasn't worthy. I wasn't worthy of love. Through that divorce, I was staying at home with my kids, so I didn't have a job. I didn't have any money. I still remember to this day, I got on my hands and knees in the condo that the girls and I were staying in, and I just told God, this was His, that my life was His, and I really didn't know what the next few days looked like or the next few months, but I knew I had 2 girls that I had to get my life together for, and I was gonna do that. And so that is the moment that just really kind of shifted my life. I continued down this path of, counseling and getting to know just Jesus in a whole new way, actually having a relationship and understanding who He was and why he would allow certain things to happen in my past life and why it didn't have anything to do with him not loving me. The cool thing is as that started to happen, things in my life started to really shift, things that I can't even explain. I had forgiven them with God, my dad and both my mother, and I told no one what I was forgiving them on. No one had any idea. And literally 3 months later, my mom came to me out of the blue and asked me if I would forgive her for exactly what I had just told God I was forgiving her for, which was crazy because it was like she was there and she wasn't. And so that was the part where we were able to really restore and heal our relationship. And the same thing happened with my dad. We hadn't talked in 11 years, and I didn't even know that he would even know that I lived in Ankeny. And he randomly sent me a birthday card and told me he was sorry and wanted to contact me. And I was able to then write him a letter and tell him how I felt all those years on not feeling like I was enough and all these things. And I knew he had had 2 other little girls after that, and just told him that I forgave him and just prayed and hoped that he would be that father that they needed and what that looked like. And he literally responded to me with, "I'm sorry, there's no excuse." And it was crazy the amount of healing that just came from that just being brought to light. Through that, those little glimpses of hope from God then continued to even grow my faith and grow my relationship with him as I was moving forward in this new journey. Everything that has happened God has used it in one way or another, even down to my worst fear of being a single parent. He has now used me to help, walk alongside other women that are now just on the beginning of their journey. And now I'm in this adventure of being a life coach, and he's using all these, actually my worst nightmares, as a platform to just speak of how great he is. I mean, really, if I look back before I really had my, a relationship with Christ and just knew that he existed, I mean, I don't really even know why I was living. I mean, I just really was kind of just coasting. Now I have this deep passion within me to just help people break free. And so sharing my story is what I hope to help people also do, is to break free, not just believe in God and just go to church every Sunday, but to actually be freed from bondage that has been, either from our past or just lies that we've believed, because it does make a difference on what our life looks like and what we do with the life that we are given here. And all the moments that I was running from him, in a sense, not even really knowing I was running from him, I see where he was literally just pursuing me in this type of love that I was actually wanting, but I wasn't acknowledging. And he was just really waiting for me to just embrace that and just accept it and just really, have that relationship with him and know that he's been there the whole entire time. I'm Nikki Van Roekel, and I have an impossible story.